York is back. New York, where y'all at, y'all? We right here, what's good? New York, stand up. Let everybody know. New York's in here. We reppin' New York City.
Yeah.
Cause we from New York City. New York's in the house, without a doubt. New York's in the house, wherever.
Hey, is there any chance you could go like extra fast? I have to get to the hospital.
So you're heading to New York Presbyterian?
Yes, please.
All right, cool.
As quickly as you can would be great.
Are you a doctor?
No.
Oh, okay.
I am a licensed clinical social worker. I'm also a domestic violence counselor.
Oh, okay. So I guess you deal with like battered women or something like that?
Yeah, and it's not just women anymore. It just comes in a variety of sizes and shapes and genders and you name it.
You mean like men get beat up too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's sometimes...
In a domestic violence situation, like a man would come there?
So there's a variety of it. So a lot of times abusive situations will start off with general manipulation. They start to entrap their significant other, and it's usually a fun, loving, wonderful relationship at first. And then once they've got those hooks in, then the rest of it starts to happen. It's about control, manipulation. Some people, it's a game, and it really doesn't matter what gender they are. A lot of it has to do with how they grew up. You know, there's some people that were abused as children, so they continue the cycle of abuse. And there's victims that grew up under abusive, controlling, manipulative parents, and then they end up repeating the cycle. So,
I mean, have you seen patients who, I guess, are like third generation of abuse? Like,
yes.
Because, that's something that, as far as like second generation of abuse I've seen, but third generation, I would imagine by that point that they would not want to be like the predecessors.
Yeah, it's not as common as the second generation, but there are some out there for third generation. It really depends on the person if they've gotten to that point where they're so frustrated with the behavior and the patterns and the way they feel. And as long as they have a realization of self and they want to regain their, for lack of a different term, like their dignity and the control of their life. So when I take back the control, I find that a lot of times, that it gets to a point where they just emotionally can't take it. And they know that a change is needed. And there's so many resources available now that people are actively reaching out. And that is one of the positive things from COVID, because everything is on Zoom now to go to a therapist.
So you're like a psychologist or something? Like you talk to people and you try to help them get out of these situations?
Try to help them, yes. And try to give them some direction. But I have to say, it's rewarding work in one sense because you are making a positive impact. But the downside is there's a lot of people that almost want to come and hear themselves talk. They like to get people on their side, and they like to say,
"Oh yeah, this is solutions."
No, they want to come and hear you say, "Oh, you poor thing. I'm so sorry that it's happening to you," and "Oh, he sounds terrible," and it's almost validating for them to have that person to talk to, because then they're like, okay, I've dumped all of this on them now, so it's okay for me to stay. So I'm going to go back home tonight and I'm going to, continue the cycle all over again.
What you were doing before.
And then they come back week after week after
week. Do you feel like drugs play a big part?
You mean like antipsychotics, like antidepressants,
just like people who are
like
on drugs and depression. I'm not from a family of abuse, so I don't really know why. I know usually it's alcohol, sometimes it's low self-esteem, but I couldn't really tell you, anybody I knew specifically who was involved in that. So I don't really know.
There is a high rate of having a family history of alcoholism.
So do you think there's like a lot of drug use that leads to these type of circumstances where people are abusive? Like, is it a situation where they're depressed?
It's a combination of things. Certainly drugs and alcohol can play a part in it. But a lot of it comes back to what the person is used to in their environment growing up. If there was substance abuse, I mean, that may play a part. Unfortunately, substance abuse is not my specialty, but I can tell you that it does impact the whole picture. So oftentimes they will just repeat the pattern and pick partners that emulate those addictive, abusive traits. And it's heartbreaking. I do it because I feel like I'm helping, but I gotta say sometimes it gets to be, how do I say? Well, I mean, it's hard not to become attached in the sense of like caring for them and really worried about their well-being, and goes beyond the office.
So how many patients do you have?
On a consistent basis, about 55, 57 people.
57 people?
Yeah, and not everybody comes weekly. It's bi-weekly. Some people do monthly. Some, their insurance doesn't cover it, so they have to pay out of pocket. Some call as they need me.
A lot of people you got to deal with.
Yeah, it can be a little overwhelming, and it can be very challenging when you're always giving, in essence, the same dialogue to them. Okay, have you tried this? No, it wasn't the right time. Well, have you tried this? No, he was having a bad day from work and I really didn't want to bother him. Or she, albeit whoever is the victim here. So it really depends on, are they ready to do it, or do they just want to come and have somebody to just dump it all on, and then they leave feeling better about themselves because at least I've talked to somebody about it, and when I try to hold their feet to the fire and say, okay, we've been doing this for months now, it's time for you to try to break this cycle. Like, we need to have a date. You need to start taking some action for your sake, for your mental ability and your mental capacity moving forward and your mental health. And I give them a date to go by. And I have to say, a lot of times they don't come back. It's...
So because you hold them accountable, they no longer come back.
Yes.
Got it.
I wouldn't say that the vast majority do that, but there are a good deal that do that.
Is it mostly men, mostly women, like your patients?
Well, no. I have men, women, gay, straight, lesbian, you name it. And it's, domestic violence doesn't discriminate in any way, shape, or form, and I'll give you an example. So the person we're going to see right now is a lovely young lady. She's been coming to me for many months. She has a young daughter. She lives with the baby's father. Mm-hmm. They're not married. And he is very, very abusive to her. And over time, we were able to formulate a plan to break the cycle, get away from it, file a restraining order, which is a joke. Everybody gets restraining orders, and it almost seems like the cities are just overloaded with them, so there's no follow-up. Or, she went into the police department and complained he's breaking the restraining order. Can you prove it?
So you mean like he just keeps coming back?
He keeps coming back. So
well, can he get arrested?
He can get arrested, but that hasn't happened just yet.
Why wouldn't the police arrest him if on site? Like, if he has a restraining order is it because she's not letting him get arrested or something?
So the first time he did it, it was all online abuse. I know where you are. I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing. It's through the phone. He'll text her, he'll email her.
So they have a no contact situation.
They have a no contact situation. He can't even see the child at the moment.
Wow.
So what happened is we got our game plan together. She was able to leave her child with a friend, very trusted friend, because I said to her, You know, you have to be extremely careful who you tell where you're going, because you don't know who's going to be the victim of, you know, narcissistic storytelling, which is also key in a lot of cases.
So
You know, they get the sympathy.
he's a stalker, basically.
Yeah, basically, yes. So she was able to get her daughter to a safe place. She was able to secure a rental for herself, a temporary rental, and made the mistake of telling a family member who ultimately was sympathetic to his, you know, I want to see my baby, I haven't seen my baby, and the tears and the blah, 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 blah. And they gave him the address.
Well, look, just playing devil's advocate, because I'm not condoning abuse in any way. Why is it that he wouldn't be? Is he abusing the child? Why wouldn't he be able to see the child? Like, I mean, I know that you have a like, I guess, a protective order for him not to be able to see her, but you know, if you're the father, you should still be able to see your children.
Theory, yes, you should be able to see your children, but she was trying to get supervised visitation. And up to this point, the child is now 6 years old, and she does not want to be with the father because she's seen what the father does to the mother. So she's afraid.
Oh, so the child doesn't want it. But I mean,
the child doesn't want it, but if you're not willing to get what's called a guardian ad litem for the child, which is an additional expense, then it's kind of a your word against their word kind of thing.
Yeah.
Guardian ad litem will look out for the best interest of the child. But, you know, it's a crapshoot. However, in this particular situation, because the violence was so bad, she's in the hospital now. He was able to get arrested because he clearly broke the restraining order. So he's in jail, and she's going to try to go for full custody. So.
Man, that's sad. I mean, because children need their mother and father and whatever, and you know, I mean, as long as he's not beating the kid and he's not hurting the child, whatever, you know, I think he should find a way after he gets out of prison to be able to be back in that child's life, you know.
Right.
But and I mean, the abuse though, it's just it's something that you don't. Right. It's too slippery to even be able to tell, because you know, with a guy like that, he may just be a violent person all around.
Exactly.
And, you know, you never know.
And that's where supervised visitation comes in, because the courts, like you know, rightfully so, they agree the child should have both parents in their lives. If it's supervised, then we know for sure that the child is still safe with them. And it can be a friend of the family, or it can be a family member, someone that they trust and know, so it's not completely awkward. But it's all about ensuring the safety of the child. So,
wow. Well, I mean, on a lighter note, how's everything going with you? Jeez. I feel like we talked so much about that. My God.
So yeah, everything's going okay. You know, I got into this line of work because I was a victim myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm a firm believer in. Things happen for a reason. We don't always understand them, especially when you're going through them. But I was married once, and it was a short-lived marriage. But my ex-husband was abusive, manipulative, psychotic, so many things. And it was a controlling relationship. My parents were very Catholic, and they were dead set against divorce. And I knew that the only way I was going to be able to escape this situation was to leave the state.
Wow.
I left the state. I was gone for about 5 years. I was able to file for divorce about 8 months after I left the state. But I had a sympathetic family member myself who would consistently tell him where I was. And it was not pretty. It was a very tough situation. And I didn't know the law. I didn't have the money to get a therapist, so everything I tried to do was on my own. And it was an awful experience all the way around. So I vowed that at some point in my life, I would try to help others to do it, you know. So anyways, we finally got divorced, and it was a long, tedious process.
And you've never seen him since?
No, have not seen him since.
No children, right?
No.
You got out of there unscathed, I guess.
I got out of there unscathed for the most part, and when I was able to, I got myself a whole bunch of therapy, which is why I decided to go into therapy myself. It's rewarding, it's just challenging, and it's emotional. the hard part for therapists, we try to disassociate as best as you can.
Yeah.
But I think with domestic violence cases, it's hard not to take a piece of that home with you because you want so much to help them and to save them.
So were you able to, I guess, repair yourself in a way where you were able to be able to trust another man in that way? Where you know, like, are you married again?
I am not married again. No. I am very cautious, maybe a little cynical.
He scarred you to some
He
degree.
scarred me, yes.
How long ago was that?
Oh my gosh, well over 23 years ago.
Man.
Yeah.
So no serious relationships, anything?
No, not really. I pour myself into my work.
Look, you're advising people and helping people, and you don't feel like it's time for you to think about yourself and put yourself in that position where you could find love again, or just at least a companion.
I mean, I've dated some. I'm just a little bit more particular, but I have my dogs. I travel, and that's my relief. I have lots of friends, so that helps. I don't feel like I need a relationship in my life.
Ever?
Not really.
You mean like for the rest of your life, you're saying?
If it happens that I meet somebody, I think that's fine, but I'm not out there actively pursuing it. And yes, maybe he did scar me in retrospect. Now you say, see, you should be a therapist too.
I mean, I just I don't know. I'm just big on family and people being happy together. So,
yes.
When I hear stuff like that, I'm always wondering why people choose to be alone. I mean,
yeah.
It's
I think when it's a choice to be alone as opposed to I'm out there actively looking and I can't find anybody, it's a little bit easier. I have nieces, I have nephews that I dote on to the point of embarrassment. I'm pretty content just kind of doing my own thing.
So you like the freedom because I guess you felt like you were controlled before.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's probably the main reason why you don't want to be, I guess, tied down to somebody, because then now you might be forced into a restrictive situation again.
Yes, although I have learned the signs. I have learned to see, the forest for the trees, I guess, but I'm a lot more cautious than I've ever been because of that experience. And I guess I don't know.
What do you have to lose, though? What do you have to lose at this point?
I don't have anything to lose. I don't know. Maybe I haven't met the right person.
Maybe. What are you on apps or are you?
Nope.
Okay. Well, how do you meet people?
The psychiatry does a lot of annual meetings and things like that.
So you would get with another psychologist or a psychiatrist?
I think I probably would. I think someone that's definitely in this type of field that understands, but we're faulty people too. So it's a question of finding people that really, share my interests and things like that.
Well, you think somebody like that would be able to, I guess, help you get to the root of your own problems and you'd be, basically too, you'd be diagnosing each other.
Yeah, right, exactly. I know. So scratch that. Maybe I'll go for a lawyer.
Okay. But I feel like you are doing great work and please continue doing it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Pleasure,
this has been wonderful, and I really appreciate. Thank you. Thank you for chatting.
You're welcome.
New York is back. New York, where y'all at, y'all? We right here. What's good? New York, stand up. Let everybody know. New York's in here. We reppin' New York City, cause we from New York City. New York's in the house without a doubt. New York's in the house wherever we go.